Right, should we talk about Manchester United, Darren?
Let's do it.
Want to say anything about it?
Yeah, I mean, what would you like me to say, obviously?
I tell you what, I'll talk to you about Ten Hag because he obviously had his first press conference yesterday, and we had Neil Custis on earlier on, and I said, you know, what happened? Neil was there, and he said the same thing as the other four managers said before him. He didn't sound very impressed, did he? But if you were Erik Ten Hag, Darren, give me and Ali an idea of what you feel like you would need to try and address first when you went into that dressing room.
Well, I guess he's got to reunite the dressing room, and I think he's got to reunite the club. I think it was quite clever what he did when he walked in, though, by shaking their hands, trying to get them on side early doors. I think the small things like that go a long way. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously if he puts himself out there, shakes a few hands, you instantly warm someone, didn't you? But if he'd have walked into that press conference yesterday, not really kind of just giving it a wave and went and sat down, do you know what I mean? But
it's more personable,
It's more personal by him doing that, so I think that was quite a nice touch when he first walked in. But I mean, he's got a big job in his hand, really, really big job. He's got to unite that dressing room. I think he's got to kind of identify a style of play that Manchester United we used to seeing, certainly before a while ago under Fergie. You knew exactly what they were doing. I think he's got to try and get that identity back. I think the captain's a real issue because I don't know what he does. I would personally give it to De Gea, but some people don't really like seeing goalkeepers with the captain's armband. So I think he needs to sort of address that because at the minute Maguire's form this season has deserted him. He's not ended the season relatively well. He's rarely played. He's been injured, I think, a couple of times as well. So he's got a big job in his hand. And I know they finished second last season, a couple of seasons ago. But I don't think that's a true indication of where Manchester United are. I think where they are right now is where they deserve to be. But he's got a big job in his hand.
And there was a big gap, Ali, wasn't there, between first and second when they became runners-up. So second on paper, I suppose, looks good, but not when the gap is quite huge.
And Liverpool had all them injuries.
Yeah.
How do you, Ali? How do you, because I think a big problem at Manchester United is the way that things keep getting leaked to the press. It makes great reading for us, obviously, and great conversation, but you're going into a dressing room where you know that there's quite a lot of leaks. How do you weed them out? You put fake stories out there.
You've got, well, it's the kind of topical way to do it, isn't it? He's got a massive problem because the dressing room looks so unhappy and split. Benty, obviously we're only guessing because we're not in the dressing room, but you've got to say, looking at it, there doesn't look to be any real spirit, any camaraderie. You know, it looks soulless to me. You know, looking at Manchester United, which is an incredible thing to say about that club at this moment in time, but it is. I mean, if you look at how far they are behind, you know, 35 points, effectively that's just about 12 wins. You know what I mean? Which is unbelievable. I think it could take them years, Benty. I really, really do. I said ages ago, I'm not saying for a minute it's going to be a Liverpool job, 30 odd years, but it's going to, can you really see them doing anything in the next 3 or 4 years? I mean, you need to get a dramatic change in personnel, and there would need to be a drop in form and standards from Liverpool and Manchester City, which I don't see happening. So I think it's going to be a slow building process. I think it's going to take time. His recruitment is going to have to be miles better than it has been. Not his personally, I'm talking about Manchester United's. And I think the Manchester United fans are going to have to be patient.
Do you want to hear from him, Erik Ten Hag?
Yes, please.
Here's a little bit from his press conference. He was speaking to the media for the first time as Manchester United manager, and he broke down exactly what he wants from his squad. He had this to say.
I think we have to work, and we have to set clear purposes, clear strategy, and then you need people who have capabilities and have the right attitude, had a positive attitude, and 100% committed and work hard, and then we will achieve success.
There you go, bit of commitment, work hard. What do you think, Darren?
Yeah, I mean, that's just a blueprint for every manager that gets a new job. He has to say them things, but it's so important, the job he's got done. And Ali was saying there about 30 years, well, I can't see them getting near Liverpool or Manchester United or Manchester City anytime soon. And also, they've got to catch Chelsea. So there's no good worrying about them two up the top of the table there. They've got to get past Chelsea. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience because they are miles off it. But also as well with Ten Hag, he's going to have to make big decisions. If he's got if he's got a philosophy and a way that he wants to play, if some of these so-called superstars don't fit the way that he plays, he's going to have to try and either move them on or tell them, listen, you're not going to play. Now, Ronaldo in itself is a big issue because he's been fantastic this season, scored a lot of goals, and rightly so. He's done well for them in a quite a poor season. But only him and De Gea can say they've walked away this season with their head held high. But if he's going to play this high press, high attacking game, and Ronaldo doesn't fit that, then he's going to have to make that big decision to say, well, you're not going to play. So it's a tough job for him, but listen, as long as they give him time and everyone's patient with him, I think he can get it right.
Ali, who would you make captain? Because Darren was saying earlier on, thinks that maybe Harry Maguire, not having the best season last season, might do better without the extra pressure of a captain armband.
I don't really have a problem with goalkeepers being captains, Benty. I know some people do. You think of some of the great sides of Dino Zoff, for example. Some of the great sides have had goalkeepers as captain. I think the captain's role is really, really important. It's in some ways it's just as important off the park as it is on the park. And I look at Manchester United, crikey, on it, Benty, I just can't believe, you look at guys, their confidence looks shot to pieces. Whether it's Rashford, whether it's Sancho, whether it's Varane, they just look as though they need a leader and some leadership and some organisation and a little bit of hope and direction. Because, as I say, I'm not in the dressing room, but the dressing room looks lost, mate. So I wouldn't have a problem. I'm looking about the squad just now, and I know it sounds crazy, but the obvious one might be the goalkeeper, Benty. Might be there.
Yeah, I think because I think also as well, I don't think he's necessarily not even. This might sound strange, but worried about himself. Like, I think he does put the team first. So I don't think it's all about me. I think he's more about. He goes out there, he speaks to the press. I think he's been relatively honest. I think he's been quite blunt at times, but his performances this season, De Gea, have been brilliant. So, yeah, I'd go for him probably.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.